Time now to take a look at the day's top business news. Brian Quinn joins us in studio for that. And Brian, I'm going to stay in France actually and look at that government's scramble to plug a massive budget hole. And many say it's really new taxes on the country's wealthiest. That's what's needed.
Indeed, as we saw in that report, Prime Minister François Bayrou looking set to lose his job in that parliamentary no confidence vote on September 8th. He called that vote hoping for a mandate to pursue his budget plans, including 44 billion euros in spending cuts next year as the government stares down a deficit that at close to 6% is nearly double the EU's limit. Now, Bayrou proposing the scrapping of 2 public holidays as a way to save around 4 billion euros. That proposal proving extremely unpopular with the French public. France's centre-left Socialist Party, meanwhile, is calling instead for hiking taxes on the country's wealthiest. The so-called Zuckerman tax would see France's richest households, those with a net worth of more than 100 million euros, hit with a 2% tax on their wealth. That measure could raise an estimated 16 billion euros per year. Bayrou says he is open to asking the rich to pitch in more, but he remains opposed to that wealth tax. Let's take a listen to him here from his interview last night.
Proposals just released by the Socialist Party, for example, amount to doing nothing. The Zuckerman tax is unconstitutional. It's a threat to investment in France. Because what are they going to do? Investors are going to leave.
Sur les investissements en France. Parce que qu'est-ce qu'ils vont faire? Ils vont partir.
Well, in China, meanwhile, President Xi Jinping has delivered his keynote speech at that Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. Is he hoping for a new economic order as Donald Trump's trade tariffs have pretty much upended global trade system?
They have indeed. The 10 member states and 14 dialogue partners of the SCO have all had their share of economic turmoil since Trump's return to the White House. India and China in particular finding themselves on the wrong end of Trump's tariffs. India saw 50% import duties on its goods take effect last week. As the world's number 2 and number 5 economies, the two neighbors are seeking a détente after years of border disputes that have hobbled economic integration. Xi says China is ready to provide 2 billion yuan in assistance to SCO member states and issue 10 billion yuan in loans to the organization's banking consortium. Most importantly, though, Beijing is looking to solidify a regional counterweight to America's global economic dominance. Here's Xi.
We should use the strength of our mega-sized markets and economic compatibility between member states to improve trade and investment. We should enhance cooperation in such areas as energy infrastructure, green industry, digital economy, scientific and technological innovation, and artificial intelligence.
Okay, well, let's check in on the markets now. How are they shaping up, Brian?
A mixed picture, actually, on Asian indexes Monday as investors try to parse that possible economic rapprochement between India and China. Mumbai's Nifty 50 up 0.5%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index up nearly 2% as new data shows Chinese factory output improving slightly in August. The big question mark hanging over global markets, though, is Friday's U.S. Appeals Court ruling that Donald Trump does not actually have the authority to impose a significant portion of the tariffs that he has slapped on America's trading partners. That decision will likely end up getting appealed to the Supreme Court. In the meantime, though, Trump's tariffs do remain in effect.
Okay, well, finally for business. Germany is sitting on a massive mineral wealth, but getting it out of the ground is proving rather complicated.
So Eastern Germany was once a major mining hub that ended decades ago, but now a new rush for riches is once again taking shape in the region. This time it's for lithium. The mineral is essential for batteries used in electric vehicles, computers, and phones, but the project is causing serious concern among locals who are worried about risks to their health and the environment. France 24's team in Berlin sent this report.
Until the 1990s, Saxony was teeming with mining activity, as this museum still shows.
Here we are at the entrance to a tunnel that was dug in 1686.
But in the historic galleries of Altenburg, these rocks that sparkle and glimmer in torchlight now hint at a revival of the region's past riches.
Everything silver-coloured here is zinwaldite, which contains lithium. It's in high demand today, especially in battery manufacturing.
The region is thought to harbour reserves of more than 420,000 tonnes of lithium, That's the equivalent to 800,000 electric vehicle batteries every year for decades, according to the company that carried out core sampling in the area. This could significantly reduce imports of this vital raw material.
We have learned in recent years, for example, due to the supply chain disruption during the COVID pandemic, or simply because a ship blocks the Suez Canal, that our dependence on imports can very quickly lead to us being unable to obtain supplies.
But in this region of former East Germany, traumatised by the massive pollution caused by mining activity until 1991, local residents are far from convinced. Citizen groups are warning of the risks.
You only have to look at where the mine spoil tip is supposed to be located to realize that all the nearby villages will be affected by the dust from the dump.
In addition to this, if this lithium plant is built, they'll need huge amounts of water, and that water will of course be taken from us.
If all licenses and permissions are granted, lithium extraction could begin as early as 2030.
It's a big rush from lithium around the world. Actually, we're seeing Europe not spared from the complications of that energy transition gold rush.
Indeed. Brian Quinn, thanks a lot for that business update.